Hey guys, Basic Painter here. Today's episode is going to be about seeing what $3,000 will build for a computer. So I've mentioned before that I've been trying to build a computer. It took a long time to finally get all the parts in, but I finally got them all in. And I finally got it all put together, and it's exciting. It's a pretty pimped out computer. It's super powerful. Asus NVIDIA, Intel i9-9900 processor, Corsair Vengeance Pro DDR4 32 gigs of RAM, and a few other bells and whistles, like including even my Corsair 850 power supply. Altogether, very cool. System runs great. It's super snappy. I've done some recording on when I was putting it together, and I was doing it in my living room. Lighting isn't amazing in there, so I'll try to do the best I can for showing you kind of how I put this together, but I'll explain the parts and components as I go, and I can even give you an idea, a ballpark on the cost of them, right? And you can see how I built this computer. This is going forward going to be the computer that I'll be using to doing my editing, and that was the point, because I need something to be able to get things done a little faster. Not to say I'm not going to maybe dabble in a little bit of Steam and play some video games and stuff too, but it's mainly my work computer to be able to do better, to get these videos out for everybody. I forked out a bit of money for this, so I'm hoping that it's going to make a bit of a difference. And I'm not quite completely finished. I still have the software side of things to do, and that's going to take a while. I've got to reinstall all my programs. I've got to port over all of my data. A lot of that I have on external hard drives, so it's not a big deal, but it's just fine-tuning and getting it set up the way that I like it to be. So either way, let's take a look and see what it took to build this. So in order to get started, first thing, I'm going to get the case. So this is the Fractal Focus G. I got a white case, clear side. It actually looks pretty cool. Of course, this was the one thing that took the longest to come in, so I couldn't do anything until I got this in. Now, I do kind of like how this has got holes everywhere to breathe. On the back, on the top, on the bottom. So, pretty cool. I think it's going to look pretty slick when it's done. So, just a little pack comes with it. This gives you all of your standoffs, some extra screws for mounting. There's your mounting screws. And there's your some little zip ties. There's the rest of the screws and standoffs for mounting the motherboard. And that's pretty much it for the case. All the wires are all zip tied in there. We got 2 fans in the front. And these fans glow like a white when they're plugged in, which looks pretty cool. We're going with the white case as well and everything else being black. You know, there could be a total of 5 fans. I'm actually going to have a total of 7 when this is done. We got to take the other side off so I can access it too, because in order to mount the board as well as run some of the wires, I'm going to run them through the back area as well. These are all the wires for your fans and all the controls up at the top up here. So a couple of USB 3.0s and headphone jacks, gonna be handy to have. So here is the motherboard. Asus TUF Z390 Plus. All Japanese parts. It's got wireless and Bluetooth all built into it. Now we're up to $379. And I've got the Core i9 9900. The 8-core, 16-thread, up to 5 gigs turbo. Came in this fancy little case in a bag. I'm up to a little over $1,000 now. And as you can see, I already took the chip out and I've already put it into the motherboard. I was just kind of excited. So on top of that, I've also already pre-installed my Vengeance Pro RGB 32 gigs of RAM. That's 2 16 gig 288 pin DDR4. That brings us up to almost $1,500 right there. And we haven't even put the video card in yet. Right there. There's our CPU already installed and the RAM. Oh yeah. So, time to get this puppy installed. So the first thing I have to do, because this case comes completely blank slate, and a lot of that is because motherboards are even different too, so I have to even install the little standoffs. So now this is kind of funny. Here I am. Traditionally, the old days, you just twist them in by hand, grab a pair of pliers if you needed to, get them in there tight. So I just start plugging away and I'm putting them in wherever the holes have to be to match up to that motherboard. And see here, I'm having trouble with this one. Just doesn't want to go in. Good old pliers, just grab those, get her going. And then this is what happens. That's cool. Going with this little thing. I don't know if it's harder to see, easier to see here. Come with this little thing that you can put your studs into to be able to screw them in. Funny, eh? Everything's black though in the pack, and there's nothing like they should have made that one particular part white so it stands out, so you look at it and go, hey, what's that? So yeah. Either way, we get the stands in there now, and now we've got the motherboard in place, ready for the next bits to be installed. CPU's in, RAM's in. Looking pretty slick. Black board. Everything's black inside. It's kind of neat. You can see in the back there, you've got like a pile of USB 3.0s. There's eSATA back there. And as far as from what I saw, even the sound card that's built onto the motherboard is actually pretty decent. So that's one thing I didn't buy was the sound card. I'm going to just give the motherboard sound card a shot and see how it goes. Asus DVD burner. Don't care if it was Blu-ray. It's dirt cheap. 29 bucks. Right. I'm not burning Blu-rays. I'm still up to almost 1,500 bucks here. I'm trying to keep the money down. Right. It's just so we can install installation discs and games and stuff like that. So, good enough. So now we're going to get on to the next thing we need to install. I've got two things that I wanted to install. I always enjoy having in the front of my computer. I have to have a CD drive because there's still CD stuff I use. But underneath that, we're going to install this sucker. Okay, so this is just a data hub. A bunch of USB and all my card readers, so when it comes to taking the cards out for doing the video, I can literally just pop it into the front of the computer and strip it right off the card. So much easier. And this board actually comes with two USB 3.0 attachments for the one I'm going to put in, and as well as the controls that are still on the top of the case. So that's kind of nice. So we're going to just quickly fasten these in and get them in there. It shouldn't take long to do. Especially when I can just kind of fast forward everything. So again, using those little screws that came with the case. There's little slots in the sides and there's little screw holes in there, and you just basically put them in place. And it just slides right in. And there'll be screws in the side of that to hold it in place as well. Just like that. That's the front of my computer there. Oh, starting to come along. Beautiful. Just gotta secure the other side here. And now, just showing that we got to use some thermal paste. Now this stuff I bought actually a while ago and I already had it on hand, so I didn't have to order it. But that brings us up to a little over 1,500 bucks now. And this stuff, if anything, is good because you actually have lots. So if you ever have any other computers you got to mess around with, you don't have to go buy more. You know, there's quite a bit in there. I did the 5-dot pattern so I can mount this guy on top of my CPU. This is the Deepcool Neptune. Huge block. 6 tubes running out. Keep it cool. That brings me up over 16. And, you know, I had the same kind of block in my previous computer. Never had a problem. This is my bad boy Asus Dual NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060. PCI 3.0. We've got ourselves breaking over the 2200 mil. Now this picture isn't entirely correct. It does have everything that you see there. It's just the DVI isn't by itself. There's an HDMI by itself on that other side. Now here is my AX850 Corsair completely module power supply. That brings me up to 2570. It took me a while to get this. This is a fantastic power supply. Really nice thing about it is the fact that you really don't have to have any cables in there that you don't need. And it even has to come with its own little customizability. It doesn't glow like everything else, but you can actually put, you know, these little colored magnet pieces on the side of it to kind of match with whatever color scheme you're going with. If you got a blue case, you can have like a blue magnet, or if you have a white case like I do, I can put a white magnet. So that's what I end up doing. So there is our power supply. This little button here, it's got two. You can actually turn on and off. It's quiet technology, so it doesn't run the fan when it doesn't need to. That sucker's just gonna fit right here in the bottom. That's gonna look good. So moving right along, here are all the wires. Comes in this cool little case. I think this is why it took me some time to get this, because you know, Cotton Customs, and they probably looked at it and thought it was like some kind of like wrapped up bomb or something. So the last thing we need to do, connect all the wires. Now, I know some of you might look at this and go, God, geez, you gotta run those nicer. I really didn't care. I just wanted to get this thing going because it's been sitting on my table for over 2 weeks and I couldn't put anything together because I had no case or power supply. So I just want to get it working. I can always take it apart after and reroute the wires a little more in the back area and kind of clean it up, make it look better, but for now, let's get this thing actually functioning. One of the final steps here, I'm going to put my little 1 terabyte solid state drive. This was 159 bucks actually. I was pretty impressed for a terabyte. But I looked at the M2s and the speed of that compared to this little guy was the same, really, so I just went with this. So a couple of other key things is that the motherboard I mentioned earlier has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. There's my Wi-Fi antenna. I'm just going to disconnect it for now. And the only thing really left to do after this is to install the operating system. Now normally that would be another 250 bucks. But I got a pretty sweet deal, which I think they screwed up on Amazon, and actually got Windows 10 Pro for only $75. So I'm still waiting for that to come in. But other than that, we've pretty much got everything else in here. Now, some other things too that I hadn't mentioned, but I don't only have that 1 terabyte drive. I do have in my other computer, which I'll be putting into this one, another 500 gig solid state drive and a 4 terabyte internal drive for storage. And then I still have my backup external hard drives as well. So that'll be installed underneath that little guy. And that's pretty much it. She's looking slick. Gonna put the sides back on. And again, like I said, you know, I'm gonna tidy up the cables afterwards. I just wanted to get everything hooked up so I could do a test run, make sure everything is functioning properly. especially with warranties and how long it took some of these places to get the parts to me. I got to make sure that everything works so that I can easily return them if they don't. Total, after taxes, Canadian taxes being 13% of all my purchases, we got $3,085. And that's not including the operating system. So after taxes, add another $100. So we got about almost $3,200 to build this puppy. So pretty much finished. I rerouted the wires. There's still a bit of a chunk back there, but unless I buy extensions, it's the best that I could do to hide them. So everything looks pretty slick. I've got my operating system all installed. These things barely make any noise at all, unless I start doing something really heavy. Right, it runs pretty smooth, pretty quiet. There we go, all lit up. And this is just the BIOS control in here. There's our monster. $32 gigs of RAM. It's beautiful. So hopefully we'll see what kind of difference this makes going forward. I can maybe get some videos created a little quicker. I still have a bit of work to do. I still have to get all of my material that was installed on the old system, put it on the new system. And I've got some tweaking even to do in the BIOS here, like that there. I had to turn the XMP on to utilize my RAM. But either way, if you like what you see, subscribe, share, comment, right, and smash that like button. Of course, subscribers are always appreciated, and I appreciate the subscribers I have, so thanks very much, guys. Hopefully our next video we'll start getting back onto doing a little bit of painting. Until then.